Every episode of Living Single was about dating.
Yes. Well, that's what young people do. They date, Erica.
But, our characters, they're either dating a married man or they're dating in the clubs or they're dating ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, good.
Dating everyone, everywhere, all the time.
All at once, all at time.
All at once. We're stuck in the multiverse, girl.
Yeah. Well, speaking of dating, Kim, have you ever dated a friend?
Why do you ask?
I don't know. You just the way you talk. You lived in multiple universes, So I figure, hell, you probably dated someone in every category.
I don't know. I don't think I know how I feel about that. But if you must know, yes, I have. I actually have
dated a friend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was my best friend, and we dated for a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened? Don't stop now.
Okay. He cheated on me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's messed up.
It is messed up. And it was with some wide mouth, wide booty girl.
Oh, all the wide booty heifers always get everything. It's a thing. But I mean, what'd you do? How'd you handle it?
Well, I broke up with him because I don't stand for that.
Okay.
I broke up with him.
Thank you.
But first, I went to him one night and I put it on him to remind him of what he was never going to have again. When I say I put it on him.
Yeah,
I put it on him. And then, of course, he was like, oh, we could do this. We could have this little side thing. No. We're going to go back to being friends. You have the mother of your child. Good luck. Welcome back to Reliving Single, the official, unofficial Living Single Rewatch podcast. Having a blast.
Bravo.
This is the episode where we meet a gentleman for Khadijah. It's the first time she gets to date on the show.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Now, by the way, it's a big deal because it's very hard to find a leading woman, their leading man.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure the search was on
the right match. It would be interesting to find out what the search was like behind the scenes. You want somebody this tall and this and this has to have the right match.
Kind of like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, he never lied. So why don't we get to this story now?
Let's get to it.
It's time for the rewind, where we watch and relive Living Single with you. So it's Living Single Season 1, Episode 9, Just Friends. And we get to meet Scooter. Scooter, who is Regine and Khadijah's childhood friend, and he comes for a visit, and Khadijah tries to sort out her feelings after they spend a night together, also known as a getting busy.
Getting
busy. And then there's a B story. Sinclair takes an accounting course and Overton tutors her. Can I tell you, I don't remember this. I remember the Scooter story. I remember that line. I don't remember
it either.
I don't. I'm looking forward to watching it.
I didn't know Sinclair could
add.
Or subtract.
Come on.
So we have guest stars here.
Yeah, and we have
the great Chris Williams.
Williams.
That's an actor that's known for Black Lightning. He worked on Prison Break and Close to Home. But he was that needle in the haystack. They really found it. And it was interesting chemistry with the cast.
Yeah.
Like the guys naturally liked him.
The guys really enjoyed him so much right away, having a new male energy there. And he was tall enough and he had presence. And it was believable that he would be friends with her and believable that there would be some chemistry there.
Yeah, he's 6'5".
Come on.
His kundalini was strong.
He had a powerful...
His chakra. Yes.
But also the thing about kundalini energy, I think it's a Hindu practice, and it's about the energy that lives at the base of the spine.
Oh, look at how you rolling.
But here's the thing. It's about a serpent living at the base of your spine. And I wore a serpent today because I knew we'd be talking about that kundalini energy.
You did?
Yeah, sure did.
I like that.
Got to pull it together. So he had that good energy, powerful and strong, but without being overpowering. He was just perfect.
Was wonderful because that means that the queen has found her sitcom king.
Come on now.
This episode.
Big deal.
Wait. Chill with the Scooter. The name is Terrence.
Oh, you a big shot record producer now. That's right.
But I'm still a homie. I've got 2 secretaries who tell me so.
Well, as long as I'm around, your name is Scooter.
So how you doing, girl? As fine as you look.
Well, no one can do that well. What about you? What you doing in town?
I just flew from Cali. Check out some new groups. So clear your calendar.
Oh, come on now. We getting a little too old to be running like we used to.
Yeah, man.
Dancing all night, partying till dawn, throwing snowballs at the cops.
And there he is. He makes
Yes.
a powerful entrance.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and you can see she softens, she gets playful.
She
which
jumped
is-
up on him, and
she
guess what?
Sexy.
He could catch her.
He could catch her.
He caught her.
It
Pow.
was sexy.
Yeah, he had
It
his
was-
mitts on and said, "Pow."
Come on, get this.
Pull the queen right
Right.
up. That is a sitcom
It
king right
is,
there.
right. He really
because you
very
can.
much
That means that if you can balance that energy, and she has a lot, she's not gonna pull back. That's the
No,
queen.
why would she?
So
Yeah.
as Khadijah, you got to make sure you get someone who can meet her.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well done, and can carry her. There's something really powerful when men and women can be friends like that, and
Yeah.
there was a comfortability and a familiarity that they had, and I love how that was set up, and that that here we go.
Yeah, and
She
you
can
can see
feel
they're
safe.
friends now. That's also they're saying that they're friends.
Right,
They've been
and
hanging
there's-
out for a while.
And there's a safety that's there.
Yeah,
And for Khadijah to have safety in a man is a powerful thing to have too.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's a
It's
good thing.
Good to think.
So I think they're gonna go scout musical acts in
Okay.
clubs.
Uh-huh.
But you know how that is.
Yeah, I know how that is.
You
What
start
happens
scouting.
after hours?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Accounting is easy. I am open and receptive to it. Accounting is easy. I am open and receptive to it. Accounting is easy. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just opening my mind to the accounting fundamentals.
They'll have plenty of room to play in there.
How's the class going, sweetie? Well, I've been having some problems, but not to worry. I've got someone to help me. There's my tutor now.
Evening, ladies.
What do you know about accounting?
Well, I run my own business, plus once I installed an air conditioner in the CPA's office. Bet you feeling a little foolish now, aren't
The great John Hinton
Oh,
every
my
time
gosh.
is gonna nail it.
Yeah, I mean, he just comes in and just with a few lines.
Please, that's my sitcom king.
Yeah.
That's my sitcom
Come on,
king.
how about that?
Yeah, they gave me a great one. And I've told you at the beginning of this that I really don't remember this journey, the B story. And so I love that Sinclair had affirmations. She had an affirmation that she was
Oh.
good at math. And I mean, I love, like Kim Coles, that's absolutely what I would do if I had to take some accounting classes right now. I love that she's going to get the confidence she needs by saying her affirmations and believing that these numbers are her friends. And she's got the best tutor about to help her out.
God.
We think so. And
That's the blind leading the blind. Because I'm telling you, if that's your tutor, it's not gonna work out.
Okay, so my first question is, how do you adjust long-term assets?
It's kind of bright in here for studying, don't you think? Got any incense? I get it. Oh, hello, Kyle.
I hate to bother you, Overton, but I have an accounting problem that I just can't seem to solve.
How's it going, man? Well, I think she's warming up to me, but how do you adjust long-term assets?
Hello. Hey, I'm Terrence. Oh, I'm Kyle, man. This is Overton.
Hey,
Hey, Scooter's in the house. What's up?
we see that actually Overton's plan to be her tutor
Mhm.
is to actually just make a little time with her. Like, the light's a little bright in here. You got some incense? It's like, who needs incense to study? Right? So you now know that he's trying to make a little time.
Yeah.
And I love when Kyle
The
comes and knocks
wooing
on
technique.
his wooing technique. And he wants to make himself useful. And Kyle comes in to help his friend out. Hey, I just came to ask you some accounting questions. So I guess I'm supposed to hear that and be impressed that I've chosen the best tutor.
Right.
Meanwhile, Kyle is a whiz at math. Isn't he a stockbroker?
Well, he's a stockbroker, so
Right.
he's good at that. And so he knows that it's a sham. And Scooter comes, and
Scooter
then
comes.
he meets the guys, and they,
Right.
bond.
They
They
bond. And
over Little
I-
Rascals.
I want to say about that moment, I remember in rehearsal them doing that. You know, when Cress goes, come on. That I feel like that was a moment that the three of them bonded immediately in real life.
In real life.
Yeah.
Actually, that's true.
It was a beautiful moment of, here's a new guy coming into our space, a new male energy coming into our space, and let's check him out. And when he did that, he was accepted as one of us.
Yeah.
And also, the character was accepted as
and
one
what's
of
the
us.
North Star? Chemistry.
Chemistry.
So that really works.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
So then we also are reminded of what, the little thing where you stole Charles from.
Well, because they're saying that perhaps Max could be a good fit for
Right.
Scooter. Because as far as they know, Khadijah and Scooter are just friends.
That's right.
And Max is like, nah, I don't do that. I stick to the girl code.
I have a very strict policy about dating friends of friends. I just don't do it.
No, liar, you just dated my man last month.
Damn right. Then I do it again. Ha ha.
What was that extra?
I don't have
all
no
about?
idea.
You were looking for a great
A
exit.
button.
Right.
And you end up sounding like a madman, But you do what you can.
You sounded like Mad Max.
I did.
I get it.
Pretty much got everything we wanted, didn't we?
Almost.
What was that?
It's been that long since you've been kissed. Why don't I run that by you one more time?
Okay.
What's nice? Hey,
I love it.
they hanging out at the office.
Hang out in the office.
Come on.
I think she just needs to grab some paperwork or something.
Exactly. And then the date turns into
Something else. But can you see? I love
Sex.
the moment that he's realizing this is my friend, but I'm attracted to her. So I'm wondering if he's thought all along he was coming there to pursue something else with her. Do you think he just realized it while they were hanging out
dude
together?
doesn't just realize it. You know that they have
Men
like
know.
bells and whistles called their penis. And it literally will go off at certain times, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
But here, he knows.
Yeah.
Because he's stimulated
Right.
by the clarion call of the siren. Khadijah.
Khadijah.
That's wonderful.
So it's chemistry in his body.
Yeah.
But it's also chemistry is friendship. And he must have known it would be all okay, or he must have thought it would be okay to take that moment.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. And since it's the first time we've seen Khadijah with a man, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And by the way, Latifah plays this so beautifully.
well.
And you can tell she's very relaxed. She goes, what was that?
What was that?
What was that? And then he says, let me run it by you again. She goes,
Kay. And when he grabs her, if you watch, she falls, she grabs her by the small of her back and she just, falls into it.
She leans in.
It's really beautiful.
Hey, let me tell you something. Now, what you're seeing is, I think, from a woman's point of view, I'm just looking at that he knows how to make her feel safe, but also lead the way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Meaning there's no forcing or nothing. It's
No.
just there.
Right.
And she allows him by melting.
Right.
And that's a powerful woman
It is.
who's saying, you know what? I'm going to let this happen.
I'm going to let this melt.
Yes.
I'm going to melt all over you, Daddy.
That's why it's sexier
It's-
than anything.
it is.
That's
It
the
really is.
sexiest thing you can ever get.
Mhm.
Is a powerful woman who melts into a strong brother man. Woo! The boss gets tossed. What? Oh my gosh.
I love it.
You got some explaining to do, Miss Missy.
Out all night with Scooter? What's going on?
Freeze! I saw you come home, girl. Where you been? Dang, do any of y'all have lives? I was out with Terrence.
Terrence? You got busy with Scooter?
I did not. I got busy with Terrence. What? I don't know what happened. He looked the same. He smelled the same. Next thing I know, he kissed me. And my clothes fell off. You did the deed. Was it a good deed? It was great. I mean, I may have wrecked a 20-year friendship over a few hours of fun. A few hours? Okay, I say that's a fair trade.
Wow. Hussy. Caught in the act.
Caught in the act.
Came in the morning light.
Wearing the same clothes the night
Yes.
before, so we knew something was wrong. I love
Touch me in the morning.
how fast did Max run across the street when she saw her
Then
coming
just
in?
walk away.
No, they keeping it. They gonna keep it. No walking.
She walked. You saw she was ready for work.
Oh, so it's really that's right.
It's the morning. I looked at the morning. Look at the windows.
The morning light.
Oh yes. We don't have tomorrow.
My favorite line is, then all my clothes fell off. I've used that line many times.
Yeah,
I have.
I usually say my panties fell off.
Yeah, my panties
I
fell off.
look down
say,
at my
"Oops."
panties.
I say, oops, his penis fell in.
No.
It's what I say. But it all comes from
You
that
iterated
moment.
more than
Yeah,
that's iteration
let's just get straight to
3.0.
what's about to happen.
Good for you. I love you.
Each of us have a different response. So Regine is like, what? You slept with Scooter?
Yeah.
And I'm happy for her. And you're like, ooh, you got some.
Yeah.
We're surrounding her with light and love.
Yes. And
And
then
she's confused. And I don't like being confused.
Yeah, but nobody likes being confused.
No,
I mean, because by the way, when casual sex turns into maybe something serious, sorry, if you're having that meal with a friend, you might plant a garden.
Right.
And you just wanted a carrot.
Right.
Am I taking this too far?
No,
you know what I mean?
I like the garden references. Yes.
Yes.
Because it's the garden of life.
And the carrot is the penis that fell in. So listen, this is a thing that Khadijah does not want because she loves certainty. She lives in a logical world and she's a pragmatic woman.
Mhm.
She needs things to be clear.
And now it's murky.
Yeah.
I have to go back to LA tonight, and I want you to join me for the weekend.
This weekend?
Yes? As in 2 days from tomorrow?
Terrence, I'm gonna have to say. Let me think about it.
You do that. I'll see you tonight.
Ooh, Khadijah. I think someone was in here last night. What you talking about? I don't know. I found these in the copy machine. I can't quite make out what it is, but it looks like a big
Okay. No, I have to say something about that scene.
You got to.
Do you remember? So we had a guy on the crew, and he took some Xerox copies of his booty,
He sure
a
did.
hairy booty, so that when he inserted those for the scene, we really did have something to look at, a hairy booty. And his line, and we used it forevermore, was anything for the show. We got, hey, did you do that? He was like, anything for the show. So then one of our crew, to make us laugh, took a picture of his hairy booty on a Xerox machine.
Yes.
To make so that our acting could be strong.
Oh, yes.
Anything for the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully it got a picture of the nether piece
Nether
that we
regions.
did. I love it.
Do you
Shoot.
remember that too?
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember it, of course.
Scooter just invited Khadijah to LA for the weekend.
Yes.
Ooh.
I know. Go, girl.
Go.
Go.
Just go. Just go.
So it's on you, girl. What you gonna do?
What's to do? She's going to LA to get her.
Khadijah, you should not feel obligated to go running off to LA just because Scooter spent a couple of $100 on a plane ticket.
1,500.
Oh. That's first class.
Now, let me see if I understand this situation. A young man that you've known all your life is falling in love with you, wants to buy you things, and take you away? Hell, you ain't got to be a handyman to figure this one out.
Sounds like all assets and no liabilities to me. Hey, you can use this stuff in everyday life.
Why you give me this damn ticket anyway?
Okay? They always know how to ruin things. Everything going along fine, and then bam, flowers.
Okay, right, Khadijah's home now.
Yeah.
And because of this hookup, she's wondering whether she should go on a getaway or not. Would you go?
Yes, I would have gone. Yes, I would have gone. Especially since in a lot of my early dating situations, I didn't have men who had that kind of means. I had the means, but they didn't. So
Okay.
to find somebody who had
They had the will, you had the way.
they had the will, and I had the way and the wealth. And so,
Oh, wow.
so in this particular case, to have somebody who has the means to be able to do that,
Yes.
yeah, I think it's beautiful.
I think it's called that equally yoked.
That's it. That's
Are you
it.
equally yoked?
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
are. They very much are.
We hope. And so
Yeah.
they're all weighing in on that, and we're seeing that, it seems to be a good thing.
Right.
They all seem to be positive about
Right.
it.
And I love that it adds up and Sinclair realizes, oh, the accounting, you can use this in real life.
And
Yeah.
then, Max seems to be walking on both sides. She's
Yeah.
sort of saying, hey, look, they always ruin things with flowers. But she's also saying, hey, go on and get there. Get
Right.
in there one more time.
Right. Then
You'll be
you'll
set
know.
for the next 6 months.
And there's a little moment there that I love that you bring the camera back into look at you. It's a little move, but it's gorgeous.
Oh,
It's
nice,
gorgeous.
nice. It's like a dance, ain't it?
It is. It's a dance.
right,
It's a dance.
let's
It
see
tells
it.
the audience what to do. That she has spoken, and it's real.
Patow.
Patow.
No, this is all happening so fast. I mean, how come you so sure?
Because I've always thought about you this way. Don't tell me you never thought about me like that.
Okay, all day today. Well, look, baby, you got a plane to catch.
You gonna miss me, girl.
Don't forget you gave me an open ticket.
Use it when you're ready.
Damn.
What in the hell was that?
What in the hell? What in the hell? So Scooter and Khadijah, they talk about the relationship. She can't get past the friend zone, but I love that he's not forcing her. He's not pushing. He does one little push and then he relents. It's making me sad.
Was she just going for the weekend, right?
It was just the weekend.
Yeah.
But she knew what it would mean. It could mean a lot. And she didn't want to give up the friendship, what also means a lot.
So he knew not to chase, though.
He knew not to chase.
Because
And
what you chase runs away.
Right.
Ooh.
Right. Yeah.
Padow. If you stand still, though, and what she's doing, she's standing still. She's not running away from it, but she also doesn't know what she wants. So I think
Right.
she has the courage
To stand still.
not to choose to go by his momentum, but wait till she hears
Right.
in
Here's the
her
call.
own self what she
Mhm.
wants.
And
more
he
power
says,
to her.
whenever you're ready, which is the most loving thing that he could say in that moment. Like, come on, girl, you tripping.
Yeah.
Or whenever you're ready. It's an open ticket. We learned that too, to learn that it's an open ticket. Come anytime
Come
you're ready.
anytime you want. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. I mean, he has a little bit of a blind spot because Khadijah is not just any ordinary person
No.
to just run off and have these, scandalous sexcapades. She is a boss.
Right.
She's got a magazine. She's
Mhm.
got responsibility.
Mhm.
And so she's also reacting like, not a girl that's just, been swept away in her office on the Xerox machine, even though that was really wonderful.
Mhm.
I like that she stands in her own power,
Mhm.
We
pushing her on the end of that scene, and you see that she's really conflicted, that she's like, did I do the right thing or not? But this was her decision
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
moment.
We left her in a very contemplative mood where she's
Mhm.
sort of just staying there. You know what? That's actually nice. You don't see that often in too much sitcom where the character just gets to stand in their aloneness.
Mhm.
And just by the absence and the void of people talking, we get that they're not only thinking deeply, but this has affected them.
Right. And there's something
Yeah.
at stake here, really
Yeah.
powerful.
You could have been on that plane right now, occupied.
Khadijah, you did the right thing, girl. If it's meant to be, it'll be.
I hope so.
After seeing what happened to you, Khadijah, I realized that friendship is too precious a thing to tamper with. I would never, ever get involved with a friend.
Never?
Ever.
Well, guess we've all learned quite a bit. Sinclair, I think you can handle the rest of this on your own.
Okay, thanks, Overton. See you tomorrow?
Maybe.
So they all discuss
How
this.
dating friends is
Mhm.
tricky,
Mhm.
right?
And because of that, Sinclair declares that she will never date a friend.
No, but that's bad news for Overton because he's been down there
Trying to be
teaching
my
her
friend.
accounting, which he can't. But he's also realizing that he's creating a friendship.
Right.
He does not want a friendship. He wants a relationship.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that.
Right.
But he kept it a buck. He left
did.
like a gentleman.
He did. He did.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's Khadijah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place, no pun intended.
Yeah, but she could just be friends or something. She could be maybe in a situationship.
What is a situationship? I am not a fan of situationships.
I think for this generation, it means like every now and then they knock on a door and you just come in and
Right.
have, sexual relations.
Right.
And you just leave it loose. You don't call it anything.
Right.
You can just sort of say, hey, come over. And It's like ordering a pizza.
Like Netflix and chill? Is
Yeah,
that what that
Netflix
is?
and chill. Let's chill and just
Okay.
keep it moving.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a situationship, but that's
Okay.
not the queen. It's certainly
No.
not Khadijah.
No.
So Khadijah don't need you.
Khadijah don't
No.
need you.
The reason why Khadijah don't need you is because she's already her own superhero.
That's right.
Yeah, she knows who she is.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so no.
Unless, Black Lightning wants to bring the thunder.
Let's do it.
This is The Reverb, our time to reflect on the episode's themes and how they still echo throughout the culture.
How about this? Are we all hardwired to screw? I mean, can relationships between
Right.
friends be platonic between men and women?
Well, I think we as humans are hardwired to procreate. To, the rule of life is more life. So I think it's built in that we feel the things that we feel. But I do think that friends can be friends. I think you can have friends with and not screw. I think it's possible. Don't you have male
Have
friends?
that ever happened for you?
Yes, it has. Not in the.
Well, I mean,
the
you've
first-
tested it a lot more than I have. I don't know.
I've
wouldn't
actually had
know.
some incredible male friends that I'm grateful for that are they become like brothers or like protectors so I'm grateful that I've had those incredible male friends that set the tone.
And by
I
the
have.
way, actually,
so heavy.
that is what I'm famous for.
Yeah, listen, when you came to Living Single, you had your boyfriend Richard, but there was a whole nother Richard that was just your friend.
That's right. That's right.
And you were like, what is it, Mama Flora and her two Richards or something? Do you remember
yeah.
you-
I've always run with a posse of men.
Yeah.
Can't help it. Can't help it. If I wanted to, I wouldn't help it. Even if I could. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah. But with no,
They want
it's
more
all
of it.
platonic. Why wouldn't they?
Well, because
Right.
I'm a guy's girl, but I do think it depends on what the woman is, because I think the woman is the person that leads that. So I'd say
Right. He's
depends on who you are.
Right. And he's gonna go for it if he can.
Yeah.
And she can determine.
That's right. Because if you ain't like that, he ain't getting it.
He ain't getting none of it.
Yeah. Over and over again, these women are asking themselves, can they have it all?
Mhm.
There's a lot of repetition in these episodes, these first episodes about career and dating and a focus and ambition and all those types of things.
It's the age and the stage that we're in right now, right? In the show, we're in our 20s, and these are the kind of questions that come up.
Yeah.
What do I want? Can I have it all? What is all? And so that's why they're going to get repeated over and over and over again.
Yeah. And, actually, if you're a young adult, those are the things they're asking. It's not easy. And you can get confused, and everyone's looking for a roadmap or a template or anything like that.
I think you get to choose now. There are so many different ways for you to call a family, and it used to be traditional that the mother would stay home and dad would go out and slay the dragons. And we have so many women who are slaying their own dragons in their own way. And you get to choose a partner, and hopefully you find a partner that is really there to support you and willing to lift you up and support you and continue to slay the dragons. And hopefully, listen, in my world, I would want somebody who's slaying the dragons with me, or they're off doing their thing and we can come together.
But have you ever had to choose between like love and career?
No, I haven't had to choose between love and career, but I finally found someone who was equally yoked, and it made all the difference in the world.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm wondering if I have. I don't think I have done that.
Given up love.
No, because
for
I would
career.
choose love every time.
You would choose love every time.
I'm surprised to see I'm a romantic. But you
I
just
know
think
that you're
I'm some sort of
romantic.
vampire out there.
No, but
give me a break.
you would choose love over your career if given that choice. You would choose love over your career, Erica.
Yeah, because I think one is more precious. And I don't. It hasn't come up that way.
Okay,
I mean, for one
thankfully
thing,
you haven't had to
any man
choose.
that would make me choose that,
Have to be amazing.
I won't be falling in love with them.
Oh, so
I got a natural force field.
you have a natural trap
I got
door.
yeah.
You're saying that's not going to.
No, it's not
so in
even-
theory, you would choose love over career.
That means I'm in love already.
Mm-hmm.
They've already passed that test. But then if they said, hey, something's changed, it's your career or them, I'd say them every time.
Okay.
What if I asked you that
Okay.
now?
Yeah. Oh, that based on what you're saying, yes.
That's
yeah,
what
I
I'm
would choose
saying.
love. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you coming up and like next candidate, to me, to pass the test, like Lord of the Rings, like the Ring of Power, you got to be all right with me being in power.
Yeah.
Not being in power over you, but being in power.
Right.
Yeah. And
No,
then we'll date.
Okay. All right.
Because even if I sniff it,
Right, right.
If I
right.
sniff
out
the BS,
yeah,
that's, I don't even want a Dairy Queen ice cream cone after that.
right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It was a nice trapdoor you built there for
No,
yourself.
it's all good.
You explained it. Thank you.
Yeah. So have you ever been friend zoned?
Yes. Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh, Kim, who friend zoned you?
don't you want me, baby? Yeah, and he was right. It was like we wouldn't have lasted. Or they saw the magic and they were afraid they'd be burned by all this
By the
heat.
fire?
Yeah, just better to keep it in the friend zone. Yeah, that's happened.
You know what? Actually, that's really wonderful. I mean, it's hard to take at the moment because you're thinking it could feel like a rejection.
But here's the thing about my life, and just I call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We actually didn't remain friends. Like we weren't unfriends. We just fell out of grace. Like I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time pining after you, and you don't want this. Let me go on over here and spend my energy where it needs to go. So no offense, we could still be friendly, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time around you and be pining for you. I'm going to go ahead and fill my time and hours with somebody who wants to be with this.
All right.
I don't have that kind of time.
No, I don't want to be friend zone. It's the end zone or bust for me.
Exactly. You can stay up in the bleachers and watch the rest of this happening over here.
Come on.
And sometimes they come back around like, how dare you, sir? You had your opportunity. I'm off enjoying my life.
Once again, you are a pussy slayer. You really are. You slaying them. Can we? That is the truth.
I've had my moments. I've had my
You
time.
got the mojo, girl. I think you should have a relationship class.
You think
How
so?
to put it on.
How to put it on you. You know, I'll be honest. I took relationship classes. I took a whole series of classes called Understanding Men. Like they name it what it is, and it changed my relationship with men and seeing men in the light that they should be seen in as providers and protectors. And when you look at men through that lensing, you look at each man and go, what is he providing for me right now? May not be providing, money or diamond rings or anything. So they're providing for you.
Are they protecting? How do you see that?
And sometimes they're protecting. Sometimes
maybe
they're paying
is the provision
attention.
the protection?
Provision, protection, providing all the things. Let me tell you something. I'm going to give you somebody who this is not a romantic thing. I'm going to give you an example, and he's sitting in the room right now. Kenny provides for us, not just because he works here, but he makes sure that our orders, our lunch. Hey,
That's
did you get
true.
upstairs?
He takes good care of us.
He's providing. Your room is
He's
set up.
calm.
Is anything calm,
Yes.
sweet, funny, adorable? There's no romantic anything, but he's providing. I feel provided and protected by Kenny.
I
'Cause
did
I've seen
feel
it-
like he hit on me once though, with his eyes, with his
Well, he's
left
got
eye.
good taste.
Yes, of course he does. And he has locks.
Yeah,
You
yeah, he
can't
does,
help
he does.
it.
Plus,
You
he's a
know,
Capricorn man, so I'm going to love Kenny for that. But thank you for providing for us, Kenny, the way
Thank you,
that you
Kenny.
do. It
Oh,
does-
well, that's an amazing
yeah,
transition. You're
okay.
pretty good at this. All right, let's go to our next section. True Blue. Okay, this is True Blue, where we hear from our friends. Amber, give it to us.
All right. So this one is from LaQuisha Clemens.
Come on, that's real. You can rule the world with that. name.
Come on,
Go ahead,
LaQuisha.
sister.
Thank you, LaQuisha, for your question. So she says, hi, first, I just want to say thank you for bringing back the magic through this podcast. Living
welcome.
single was and still is such a cultural staple in the Black community. It made us feel seen, stylish, and successful in our own skin. My question is, the chemistry between y'all was so real and unmatched. How did you maintain such a tight bond on and off set? Were there ever any challenges, conflicts, or moments you had to work through to keep that connection strong?
How much time you got?
That's a very
Loaded.
That's a whole
That's a
episode,
loaded.
LaQuisha.
The show is. Did the on-set chemistry work just as well off-set? And if so,
100%.
what did we come up against?
Okay. So I would say the on-screen chemistry, I think that's what people feel when they watch the show. I think they love the writing, they love the characters, but what you're feeling is a true love, respect, and admiration and awe of each other.
Yes.
I'm clear about that. And
Yes.
I've always said I felt it from the very beginning. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
But what do we do to maintain it off? And I've said many times we would take birthday trips with Erica and TC, and because your birthdays are the same day,
Right.
we would celebrate your birthday and John's birthday because they're both all in November. We spent time together. You've also reminded us that you spent a lot of time on a set together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We ate dinner together sometimes. We sometimes go to each other's house.
Yeah.
You have to understand how difficult that schedule is, though.
Yeah.
Because what you don't see is that when we go home and we learn our lines, and our weekends are usually our recovery time to just do basic stuff like dry cleaning and
Right.
maybe mail some things.
Get the car washed or something, right?
You spend many years being isolated from the normal things that people do. And then when you do have holidays, you're so exhausted. Or like Kim Fields was saying that she was going directing Kenan and Kel. And I didn't know until now. So we did what we could to create the same type of vibe. It's just that I don't think we had, past really trying to organize it, much vibing that didn't come from the studio sometime when we had to do PR things and or, little parties that came up. But I don't know. I think that we also had issues. Like normal, when you're in high school, think of a set like high school. You dig your high school friends, but they also get on your nerves. So we were happy to go home and get away from each other because we were faking like we were friends and all these other things. But we also have our other real life friends and family that we have to, talk to and see to.
I always tease us because we had an epic fight one time. Erica and I had an epic fight. Epic.
Yeah. It was your fault, though.
Was it my fault?
I think so.
Okay.
That's
Why
how I
was
like
my
to remember
fault?
it.
I
don't know what happened. Was it my fault?
I think it was.
You thought I was being a certain way.
I thought you were being a certain way. And then you say I kicked you out of my trailer.
I came to your trailer to talk about it. You said, Erica, please leave.
I did.
And I said,
you kicking me out of
your
trailer? I was like, Erica, please leave.
Please leave. And she did it all stately with her nostrils flared. And I was humiliated.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because I knew I had to leave. But I also, had never been kicked out of anybody's trailer.
So
For God's sake. We're in trailers in a parking lot.
In the middle of nowhere.
Kicked out of
I was so mad at you.
Worst places.
I've been kicked out of most parties. I actually called my mother, and I'm 32 at this age. I called my mother crying, Mommy, I just had a fight with Erica. Like, I'm a grown woman. And she said, oh, Kim, you love each other. You mean precious Erica? That's what she called you. You mean my precious Erica? Oh, the two of you will make up. You'll be fine. Kim, I'm so mad at her.
Meanwhile, in my trailer, I'm calling my fiance husband, Tony, I just had a fight with Kim and she kicked me out of her trailer. And he goes, oh, Erica, it's all right. She kicked you out of her trailer?
I'm like, I'm so sorry.
What'd you do? I didn't do nothing. You know how Kim is when she get all ornery. And I didn't know what to do. And he said, you just clean up your face. You go back up in there and you guys are friends and you're going to work this out and whatever.
Do you remember what happened? We both went to the set.
We went back to the set.
With sunglasses on.
Right. Boom. And not talking much.
Sunglasses.
And we didn't realize how much power that had because the set sort of went down in energy.
The energy was like, why are they back on the set with sunglasses on? I was mad at you.
Right. But also they could feel that there was an issue.
Yeah,
so we're doing a scene and I was in a bin.
Yeah.
And what did you do?
This is the
I was
episode
hidden
where
in the
Regine
bin.
has a clothing store and has a big sale, a clothing
there's a
sale or
retail
something.
thing
And you hide in a bin.
Yeah.
And I think to make up with you, to let you know that I still want to play with you, I start throwing clothes on top of her inside the bin.
And I was in the bin all like, she's trying to humiliate me.
But I was just like I'm going to throw clothes on you. See, we're still friends. I'm throwing clothes on you.
I thought she was being mean. I hated you even more because I was in that bin waiting. Well, the thing is, I did eventually get out the bin.
And you told me how you felt. And I was, oh no, I was just playing with you. I was just like, here, I'm going to throw some more clothes on you. I'm going to throw some more clothes on top of you. Get up out of there. I thought that was the way to make up. And then we made up.
Yeah, I thought you were being a Brooklyn bully. But we got over it.
We did.
We did. And maybe that's why we're very close, because we actually had some things that needed repair.
Right.
And we actually did the repair.
We did.
And when we disagree with each other, and I know I irritate you to no end.
You do. And I'm sure I irritate you to no end.
I was about to say, birds of a freaking feather. Yeah.
Well, so we should tell the people that we made a pact even coming into this process that the love will always remain, that we'll always be truthful with each other. And that commitment is there, even though Lord, you be getting on my nerves. But that's what makes you beautiful. But here's, there's so many revelations that are happening in this process that I'm so loving. Things I didn't know. I'm relearning you because we haven't really hung out in person. The pandemic changed everything. People weren't hanging out in person. And so I'm enjoying this process of relearning you.
Me too. And there's been so many things that we've said or talked about that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for this time because, again, you're in a hot spot and many of these conversations don't happen.
No.
You take it for granted that you know somebody better than you think you do.
Yes.
And then you realize there's a whole other part of you
world
that I might have missed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for that.
I'm grateful for that
too. So there. So
Right.
you just saw in real time how we do it.
We talk it out.
How
We make it
the
happen.
love works.
And there it is. Don't forget to send your questions and comments to Reliving Single Podcast at heartbeat.com, and you may get a moment like we just had just then. You're welcome.
Yes. Thank you, LaQuisha.
Thank you, LaQuisha.
Well, that's it, y'all. Follow us on our socials at Reliving Single Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any place that you listen to your podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Reliving Single is hosted by me, Erica Alexander.
And me, Kim Coles.
Reliving Single is a production of Heartbeat in association with Color Farm Media.
Executive produced by Kevin Hart, Jeff Clanagan, Eric Eddings, Leslie Guam, Erica Alexander, and Ben Arnad.
The show is produced by Kim Coles.
Amber Watson is our senior producer.
Our associate producer is Kenny Jackson.
Our video editor is Nee Kirschman.
Our sound engineers are Eric Hicks and Cedric Wilson.
Production supervision by Razak Boykin and Brett Calkins.
Additional production support from Alex Atkins and Z Taylor.
Special thanks to BK Augustine and Dr. E.J. Johnson.